Hello, welcome to STH English. Among the many existential threats that Pakistan is faced with, one threat is not just Pakistan specific, it does affect Pakistan decisively, it is transcendent of the borders, but right now we have to focus on what it's doing to Pakistan, and this happens to be the current rainfall that the country is witnessing. It has strategic implications, it has domestic implications, it has economic implications, it is people centered. Let me start with the strategic implication. The Indian attempt to manipulate the Indus Water Treaty is directly connected with Pakistan's perception that in a radically altered climate condition where cloudbursts and rainfalls can be as incessant and excessive as Pakistan is witnessing right now. India controlling the flow of water through Pakistan's river system has a strategic weapon to use against Pakistan. So when the Pakistan National Security Committee insisted that India playing around with the Indus Water Treaty agreement and arrangement, if it were to take this step of manipulating it to its foreign policy and defense objectives, if it were to press ahead with this game plan, Pakistan will see it as an existential threat and as an act of war. So there's a reason for that. Because right now, if you look at the situation in Pakistan, there is a virtual flood that has come to Pakistan as the skies have opened up in areas adjoining where I'm sitting right now, for instance, Islamabad, a region which relies on rainfall and not necessarily the canal network. It has received rain in quantums unheard of in the last two generations. 50 and 60 years records have been broken. Rainfall to the quantum of 450 millimeter has just hit one district. Even in the capital city, which is used to heavy rainfall because of the ecosystem that it has and the Margla's proximity, the rainfall is exceptional. Over the last 24 hours, capital city alone has experienced over 200 millimeter of rainfall. Now, in areas which are designed to somehow arrange the flow of water and drain it out of their systems can manage it. But not all of Pakistan is equipped for this purpose. If you move into central Punjab and south Punjab and move into KP, there are areas which get easily inundated. And the spectacular visuals that you see in the shape of urban flooding is open testimony to the long-term existential threat that Pakistan feels, that if in such situations India was to release without telling Pakistan its water and flood and excessive rain generating quantum of the hydropower towards Pakistan, it can have devastating consequences. It can wreck Pakistan's infrastructure. It can create massive problems inside Pakistan's urban areas, and it can also badly affect Pakistan's economy. And that is exactly why the Indus Water Treaty, combined with climatic change that Pakistan is faced with, particularly because it's a low riparian country, becomes a geopolitical tool of manipulation in the hands of the Indians, and that is exactly why Pakistan is really worried about that. The domestic impact of climate change in Pakistan is even greater. We rely heavily on agriculture, not just to feed ourselves, but also to export agriculture-based finished products. Our cotton sector is a case in point. If the cycle of crop is affected by the availability of water at the wrong time or excess of water at the wrong time accumulating in our fields, it is going to cost Pakistan dearly. And if you look at this year's budget document, go through Pakistan survey, you will realize that Pakistan's crops have been badly affected by climatic changes, and except for one or two crops, the rest of them have fallen far below their actual potential. If it wasn't for the dairy sector, frankly, our agriculture sector would have been really down in the dumps according to official statistics. And actual statistics can be more harrowing than this. So there is a domestic context to the rainfall related alarm bell that should ring in Pakistan, that it's not just about dealing with water in the immediate aftermath of rainfall or urban flooding or inundated farmlands. It is about looking at Pakistan's agricultural potential and how it is being affected by this climatic change. And the third issue relates to public inconvenience. We have looked at how many people have died in these rains in the last 72 hours. If you were to look at deaths in Punjab alone, they run into half a dozen people. If you combine deaths from all across Pakistan in this season alone, which is yet to unfold fully, you're looking at hundreds of people who are dead. The infrastructure devastation that has taken place is an additional burden on the economy. You have to clean the roads, you have to rebuild the bridges, you have to rebuild hospitals, and the sheer magnitude of the water flow that comes from the skies is nothing less than a tsunami of trouble. So when you look at the strategic angle, climatic changes are now part and parcel of, or they should be, part and parcel of Pakistan's debate about its national security. When you look at their domestic impact and economic impact, you have to reinforce the argument that without dealing with climatic changes and addressing these climate-related issues, you will not be able to take off your economy and take it to a level where you want it to be. And without educating public about climatic change and building infrastructure that is climate change resistant or durable in the face of new changes, you will not be able to completely address your defense needs. The last point needs a little elaboration, and I'll just close my argument with that. When I say that without addressing the climatic needs that may seem to affect the people, you will not be able to complete your debate about your defense doctrine. What I mean is that in the new doctrinal realm of war strategies, the difference between critical defense infrastructure and people-centered defense infrastructure has completely diminished. You can no longer argue that this road is meant to facilitate public traffic when you're landing your aircraft on the motorways. You can no longer argue that these bridges are not really critical defense infrastructure when you know that in times of war, which would involve landing missiles inside your territory in publicly maintained areas, these bridges are not needed for our defense purposes. So each building, each hospital, each bridge, each road, while it is meant to facilitate the public and serve a public interest, actually serves the defense purpose and defense interest as well. So therefore, what I am arguing here is that while we do focus on Indian manipulation of the Indus Water Treaty and do acknowledge the fact that it is now a weapon and a tool of warfare in their hands, what is happening to climate itself only exacerbates our challenge and affords our enemy an added advantage to use against us in times like these. So I'm only waiting to now see what Indians do with the Indus Water Treaty's manipulation and what is the quantum of water that they would release through these floodlines, which are already choking and inundated. If they were to do that, Pakistan would be looking at not just the Indian threat that looms in the shape of their defense preparedness. Pakistan will also be looking at their hydro-terrorism and hydro-warfare. So these rains and this urban flooding and the devastation that they have caused to Pakistan should be a reminder that nature of warfare has changed and climatic changes have only aggravated this threat to Pakistan.